Senator Cotton has asked for recognition.
Yeah, I'll keep this brief. I think in some ways, David Chipman for President Biden is a perfectly suitable nominee because the Biden-Harris administration has already marked itself out as the most anti-gun and pro-crime administration in American history. President Biden gave a speech yesterday afternoon that was supposed to be about how to stop a crime wave that is crashing across this country with a murder rate that's increased in the single biggest jump on record over the last year. And what did he do? He basically threw in the towel. He said, yeah, I know that murders and violent crime went up a lot last year, and they went up a lot in the first few months of this year, but, well, crime goes up in the summer months too, so it's going to get even worse over the next 3 months. So I hope you don't get killed walking the streets of your community. And then what did he talk about? Did he talk about imposing tough sentences on people who commit crimes? Did he talk about adding more cops to the streets and quit attacking cops? No. He talked about gun control, about harassing law-abiding gun owners and gun stores, focusing on a kind of rifle that is less commonly used in murders in America than blunt objects like hammers and bats and frying pans and your bare fists. The vast majority of murders and crimes in this country are committed by pistols, which would be almost totally unaffected by some of the Democrats' proposals. So think about what Joe Biden wants to do. He wants to ignore the gun crimes that are happening in cities across America while he takes away the rifle you have in your home to protect yourself from those very criminals. So again, it shouldn't be surprising that he's nominated a man like David Chipman, an anti-gun radical. In his hearing, I asked him very simply, what is an assault weapon? And he couldn't define it because it's a made-up, fictitious term crafted by a bunch of liberal pollsters and lawyers and politicians in Washington to describe a kind of weapon based on mere cosmetic features. Go into a gun store, look at the labels in the aisles. You can find an aisle for shotguns, you can find one for pistols, you can find one for rifles. You won't find one for assault weapons because it is a fake, made-up term. Now, when I pressed him, he finally acknowledged that he would call an assault weapon, let me be precise here, any semi-automatic weapon larger than a .22 caliber with a detachable magazine. That is almost every modern sporting rifle in America. That is one of the most radical proposals that we have ever heard in Congress. And again, it would do almost nothing to affect the gun crimes that are happening in this country right now. Now, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all the Democrats in the Senate can talk about why we have this crime wave. Oh, it's the pandemic. People are isolated. They're unemployed. Woe is us. What are we going to do? Well, guess what? The pandemic is basically over and crime is still going up. Other countries face this pandemic as well. They didn't have such a large increase in crime. Let me tell you why we have a large increase in crime. One, we are letting violent, serious, repeat felons out of prison, as this Congress did with the First Step Act. We are refusing to send them to prison in the first place, as radical prosecutors like Chesa Boudin in San Francisco refuse to even do their job. And three, we are harassing the police for doing their jobs, and we are slashing their budgets. That's why we have a crime wave in America, and until we stop it, that crime wave will continue.
Thank you, Senator Cotton. A lot has been said about what Joe Biden believes. Let me read from a statement yesterday. I hope all of you have it, fact sheet provided by the administration addressing the issues of crime and how to deal with them. Let me read the opening paragraph page. The strategy will use the rescue plan, the American Rescue Plan, which we know full well on the Democratic side, the American Rescue Plan's historic funding levels and clear guidance to help state, local, territorial, and tribal governments get the money they need to put more police officers on the beat, with the resources, training, and accountability they need to engage in effective community policing. In addition to supporting proven community violence intervention programs, summer employment opportunities, and other investments we know will reduce crime. Page after page. Page 5, provide law enforcement the tools and resources they need to tackle gun violence. Does that sound like Joe Biden's throwing in the towel on law enforcement? No, not to me. It sounds like he's making an investment in law enforcement, which we all, at least I applaud, and I think is absolutely essential. You see, I represent the city of Chicago, and I'm proud to do it, but we are facing a wave of gun violence and death unheard of, and we're not the only place. And it isn't just because it's a blue mayor in a blue city in a blue state. It's happening in the downstate red counties and communities as well.